impossible to see the missile coming, but can you hear it? Is there any way to sense it when you're on a commercial plane?
David, you're a sitting duck. You have absolutely no way of knowing something like that's coming up at you. You've got no threat alert in the cockpit, as Steve Ganyard said earlier. He's a fighter pilot. This is what you have in fighters. We don't have that in commercial airliners.
All right. John Nance and Stephen Ganyard, both of our pilots on duty today. Thanks to you both. And, of course, the last civilian airplane to be shot down by a missile also happened over Ukraine. It was in 2001. And you might remember the U.S. military downed an Iranian flight back in 1988. Civilians caught in the middle of the conflict. And so let's turn right now to ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
If confirmed, it's not the first time a commercial airliner has been caught in the crossfire of a conflict, killing hundreds of innocent civilians. And it's not the first time the White House has had to deal with the consequences.
It looks like it may be a terrible tragedy.
On July 3rd, 1988, a missile fired from a U.S. Navy ship brought down an Iranian airliner with 290 people on board as it flew over the Persian Gulf. The USS Vincennes had been exchanging gunfire with Iranian gunboats that day and mistakenly took the A330 Airbus for an Iranian fighter jet. 5 years before that, in September 1983, a Russian fighter jet shot down a Korean plane with 269 passengers on board. The plane, a Boeing 747, had accidentally strayed into then Soviet airspace. One of the passengers was a U.S. congressman. The Soviet government first denied involvement and later claimed the plane was spying on them.
The similarities here are very strong. In both of those cases, there had been something else going on in the area the day before. So it's possible that people on both sides of the border, Russia and Ukraine, were thinking this was not a passenger plane, but thinking it was a military plane.
It's important we get to the bottom of this sooner or later because of the possible repercussions that could flow from this beyond the tragic loss of life.
Yeah, so as tragic as that loss of life today is, as you heard from Vice President Biden there, the concern here in the White House is that what happens next could be even worse, that those repercussions could include a much wider conflict. So as was the case with both the downing of that Iranian passenger jet and the Korean passenger jet in the 1980s, what you're about to see, David, is some very high-stakes diplomacy.
Yeah, big concern about the ripple effect around the world. But in the meantime, John, you and I were talking about the black boxes earlier, a sort of tug of war. Those who recovered it saying they would turn them over to Russia, Ukraine saying it should stay there, the White House weighing in on that too. But there's also concern tonight about tampering with those black boxes.
Yes, look, there's a firm statement out of the White House today saying that all that evidence needs to remain on Ukrainian territory, should not be touched, should not be tampered with until international investigators have been able to get on the ground and been able to conduct their investigation. The concern right now, David, is that that territory is effectively in the control of Ukrainian pro-Russian rebels. And that those, as you've heard them directly say, Martha Raddatz reporting, they are claiming they've already found the black boxes and have shipped them off to Russia. Now, U.S. officials don't know if that's actually true, but the message, and it's a message to Russia, is leave all of that material, all of the evidence in Ukraine until international investigators are able to look at it first.
But, of course, that's the big question. Have they been shipped already? John Karl with us all day long. John, our thanks to you. And, of course, today's disaster in Ukraine has so many people thinking about their own safety in the air, and now two catastrophes involving the same airline just this year. ABC senior national correspondent Jim Avila on a very difficult year for aviation.
For every heroic save, like Captain Sully Sullenberger's engineless landing on the Hudson River after a bird strike, there are disasters in the air. Still, last year, 2013,